Good morning and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be working on quadratic equations. I know the question's a little difficult to see, but it says the height y of a baseball hit by home run record holder Barry Bonds at time t is modeled using the function y equals negative 16 t squared plus 64t plus 3. Write the function in vertex form. So to do that, we are going to be completing the square. So negative 16 t squared plus 64 t plus 3. And then we are going to group the first two terms together, separating them from the constant term. So we would get negative 16 t squared plus 64t plus 3. And at this point we can now factor out negative 16 from both. So it'd be negative 16 t squared minus 4 t plus 3. Now we want to divide this number by 2 and square it so we can have a perfect square, and that would give us negative 16 t squared minus 4t plus 4. But since we're doing that, we're including the positive inside the parentheses, we also want to include the negative form on the outside, which would be plus 3. And because we are putting it on the outside, we have to multiply by negative 16, which would give us positive 64. So now we have negative 16 t plus 2, minus 2 squared plus 67. And that is our final answer. So y would equal negative 16 t minus 2 squared plus 67 would be our vertex form. And the next part of the question says, so this was A. B says, find the ball's maximum height. After how many seconds does the ball reach its maximum height? So for this one, we want to use the equation to find the vertex, which is negative b over 2a and f of negative b over 2a to find the vertex. So our b is negative 64 over 2 times negative 16, which would give us negative 64 over negative 32. Grab our calculator. So now we have negative 64 divided by negative 32, which gives us 2. So our first answer is 2. Now we have to plug that into the original equation, which would mean f of 2 is equal to negative 16 2 squared plus 64 times 2 plus 3. Okay, now we have negative 16 times 4 plus 128 plus 3 gives us negative 64 plus 131. Which gives us 67 and the other part. So the maximum height is after 2 seconds, at 67. And we only put 67 because it doesn't seem to include what is the unit. So we can put is reached after 2 seconds at 67. Okay, for the final one, if the ball is not caught by another player, after how many seconds will it hit the ground? So that is asking for us to find the intercepts, or when this equation is equal to 0. So there are 2 ways we can actually solve this problem. We can use our vertex form that we already have, or we can use the standard form. So we will be using the standard form and using the quadratic equation. So 0 is equal to negative 16t squared plus 64t plus 3. So x equals opposite b plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is 64 times 64, gives us 4,096. Minus 4, negative 16, 3, which is, let's see, negative 4 times negative 16 times 3. It's 192 all over negative 32, which equals negative 64 plus or minus the square root of 4,096 minus 192 gives us 3,904 all over negative 32. Okay, so now the square root of 3,904 62.4812. So it gives us 2 possible outcomes. X equals negative 64 plus 62.482 divided by negative 32, and x is equal to negative 64 minus 62.482 all over negative 32. Okay, so negative 64 plus 62.482 gives us negative 1.518 divided by negative 32 gives us 0.04. Then if we do the opposite, so negative 64 minus 62.482 gives us negative 126.42. Divide that by negative 32 gives us 3.95 seconds. So for this one, we're going to go with 3.95 since it is the answer that makes more sense. And we're going to say that the ball is in the air after the ball will hit the ground after 3.95 seconds. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you for your guys' participation and cooperation. My name is Rosa Prado, and if you guys have any more questions, feel free to ask. Have a great day.